Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Brian Leonard at B Leonard Sports on Twitter and Marco D'Angelo at Marco in Vegas. Make sure you're giving both of those guys a follow. Always fun to watch Marco respond to some of the trolls. Brian's been pretty quiet these days, but we'll get him to spice it up a little bit now that the Big Ten is back. Let's talk some NFL football. I think this is the NFL game of the week. The Steelers 4-point dogs at the Ravens, 3.5, 4.5. This one's bounced back around a little bit, but right now the total is 46.5. Marco, I'm going to go to you first. You're a resident Pittsburgh Steelers fan of sorts. I know that because you are a fan, even though you are a fan, you're objectively able to bet against this team, bet on this team, and give us your bluntly honest opinion on them, your thoughts on this division rivalry.
Well, being totally honest, you said this is the game of the week. Kelly, this is the game of the year in the AFC. Come on, this is going to decide home field advantage, going to AFC North. Don't undersell this game. It is a huge game. And full disclosure, last week I went against the Pittsburgh Steelers against Tennessee because I thought they were in a bad spot coming off the Cleveland game, going to Tennessee, and then having Baltimore on deck. I'm going to say again, they're still in a bad scheduling spot because this game was moved around. Baltimore has a tremendous advantage coming into this game. This game was supposed to actually have been played last week, but because they moved the Pittsburgh-Tennessee game and had that game last week, this game got pushed to this week, and Baltimore got their bye week. And Pittsburgh really wasn't happy about that they had to take a forced bye week because they had to cancel the Tennessee game because of the COVID issues with the Titans. And their biggest game of the year, now they're at the disadvantage. Baltimore had the bye week. Now, we saw the look-ahead line in this game, Kelly, was actually 5.5. And I commented to you that I thought that opening number that they put at the Westgate, the 12-day look-ahead line, was just too high. And then, of course, after we saw what Pittsburgh did do, remain undefeated last week, and for 3 quarters looked tremendous. Tennessee made the big rally late in the game and actually was in position to kick a game-tying field goal and send it to overtime, which who knows what would have happened going to overtime the way they had all of the momentum at that point. But with that said, I look at this, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, the one problem that they have had in the past is whenever they do face a mobile quarterback, a quarterback that is the dual threat, can legitimately run the football, throw the football, and Lamar Jackson definitely fits that bill. And if you go back earlier to this season, there was another game similar to this with a quarterback that can run the football. And really, for the first half, the Houston Texans gave Pittsburgh all they could handle in that game. And Pittsburgh managed to make some adjustments in the second half and shut down the Texans in the second half and escaped with a 28-21 victory. They had to come from behind to do it, did the Steelers. But I think Lamar Jackson, with the extra time to prepare, and let's face it, Coach Harbaugh in the NFL, everybody's going to say Belichick's the best coach, maybe put Andy Reid, up there. Harbaugh gets the job done all of the time. His team is not going to make mental mistakes. As much as it pains me, and with this line coming down, I have to look to Baltimore in this game. I just don't know Pittsburgh if they can get up for 3 weeks in a row. I'm not saying they're coming in here flat, but what we saw in the fourth quarter last week, and maybe that was having to try to tackle, which they did very well. They limited Derrick Henry, but he did wear them out. It does, you might tackle him, but he's going to make you work to do it. And in the fourth quarter, Tennessee had their way with the Steeler defense. And I pointed out last week, the Steelers lost a key piece to their defense. He's gone for the season, and that's Devin Bush. He'll be missed in this game trying to play spy on Lamar Jackson. I think Baltimore gets the job done. This will be one of those ones. I'm rooting for Baltimore. I'm probably going to have some money on Baltimore as well. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, it'll be one of those bets I won't mind losing too much, Kelly.
All right, Brian, I'd love a more unbiased opinion, all jokes aside. I know that Marco likes the Ravens. I lean towards the other side. Why? Because those divisional underdogs, especially on the road, have been so money for me. I know this line's a little shorter than I'd like it to be, but your thoughts on this AFC North matchup?
I never touched it. I don't know what happened, but anyway, this is a situation here where the home field advantage in the NFL is virtually nothing. I have it as one, but there's been more points scored by the road teams than there have been the home teams. Another thing we need to look at this week is the weather situations around the league. A lot of wind out there. Is going to be rain. So you need to take a look at that before you start investing in these games to see, especially if you're looking at totals. And I am looking at a total here, and I'm thinking this game may go under the total. The series history has had a lot of three-point finishes. These are two clubs who know each other as well as anybody because they're the two fighting for the division for the last decade or so. And being a Browns fan, I see that all the time. You talked about this being a very important game. It's more important for Baltimore because after losing to the Chiefs and then trailing the Steelers in the standings, I got to think this has got to be a must-win game for the host. They fall behind here. They'll be 2 games behind the Steelers. There'll be a game behind Kansas City and then lost the Kansas City game. So Baltimore doesn't win this game. This could be a wild card situation for the Ravens this year. The Steelers may have a hard time passing in this contest as the Ravens are second in defensive passing yards per play. But there's only one team in the NFL this year who is worse offensively from passing than the Ravens, and that's the Jets. Ever since week 2, Baltimore just hasn't had that passing ability. I know Jackson, there's been some talk that he's been injured. The extra time off should help him there. Marco's correct there. I also love what I consider one of the top 2 or 3 coaches in the NFL off of a bye week. That said, this line keeps going down, down, down. We've got like 1 or 2 4s out there, some 3s, about 3.5s available. This game gets to 3. I'm going to join Marco with Baltimore here. I just think the game is so important for Baltimore that I think laying 3 here is pretty cheap. But as of right now, I like the under in this contest. I don't think the game is so important. I don't think any team is going to want to turn the ball over. So we get, especially if we get some wins here, I can see this game definitely going under with the ground game being very important for both teams.
All right, awesome stuff from both guys. Make sure you guys head over to the WagerTalk YouTube channel and check out all of our other videos.